Welcome to Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show, brought to you by Bull Realty, the show for property owners and business leaders. Host Michael Bull brings you market analysis, advice, and opportunities around Atlanta.
Welcome to Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show. Yes, I am Michael Bull. This segment is brought to you by Valuate Online Investment Analysis. Visit getvaluate.com. We have a special guest in Studio One today, Greg Simon. He's Vice President, Economic Development with the Metro Atlanta Chamber of Commerce. Greg, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Hey, Greg, I want to ask you about technology companies. It seems like Atlanta is growing in popularity as a technology hub. You know, who's moved here? What's going on?
It's really been an amazing run over the last 5 years. You know, historically, Atlanta has been known as a logistics and supply chain hub. We have strong rail infrastructure, close to the Port of Savannah, so much distribution facilities and capability. We've been known as a center for corporate headquarters with all the Fortune 500 businesses that we have here. But historically, Atlanta has not been known as a technology hub.
Not Silicon Valley, is it?
It hasn't been, but it's changed over the last 5 years. And Georgia Tech has been kind of the stimulus of that change. Georgia Tech coming over the highway in Midtown, creating Technology Square, or Tech Square as we refer to it. And we've seen probably 15 major corporations open innovation centers in Tech Square to be at Georgia Tech's campus. Companies like AT&T, Panasonic, Coca-Cola, Delta, Home Depot. And they started small, 5,000 square feet, 10,000 square feet. And then that grew. There's been an evolution where we've seen then Honeywell take 50,000 square feet at 715 Peachtree for an 800-person software development center. NCR building their global headquarters in Midtown. So it's been this growth over the last 5 years that's really accelerated over the last couple of years.
And these are the kind of jobs that really move the needle, right?
That's right. Very high wage jobs, definitely above the average wages in the area. These are jobs, on average that pay over $100,000. Looking for software engineers with a variety of software development skills. And Georgia Tech is certainly the catalyst for all this happening. But all of the colleges and universities, the 70 or so colleges that we have in Metro Atlanta, Morehouse, Spelman, Georgia State, Kennesaw State, Oglethorpe, SCAD, in total, we have about 275,000 enrolled college students every year in Atlanta that create a talent pipeline for these technology companies.
So what are the check marks that someone would move a technology company to Atlanta versus anywhere else in the country?
So by far, of the top 10 issues of importance, workforce is probably 1 through 6 on that list. It's availability of the skilled workforce. It's the cost of the workforce, the quality of the workforce. How often does that workforce turn over? That's what employers are looking at when they evaluate Atlanta compared to other cities in the United States. And it's a fierce competition. We regularly hear about Silicon Valley, Boston, New York, Dallas, Raleigh, Austin, but I'm happy to say that Atlanta has won more than our fair share of companies lately.
So none of these companies, when you first start talking to them, think we're Bo and Luke Duke on dirt roads out here?
The perception has changed. The word has gotten out, and a rewarding part of my job is I interact with a lot of consultants that represent these global companies and assist them in their evaluations of different cities. And more I hear today from these consultants in other cities is that, we haven't been in Atlanta in 2 years, and Atlanta's really changed over the last 2 years, specifically as it relates to technology skilled workforce. And that by far is the number one issue. You can have the best real estate development in the world, but if you don't have skilled people to staff those companies, then it just won't work out.
Right.
And we have both.
Right, and one of the benchmarks, if you will, for office performance around the country in some of these markets are the growth of technology companies, and are they getting the funding? So what do you expect for technology companies' growth that are here now and some more moving to Atlanta?
It's a great question. And so the way I see it, we sort of have two categories of technology companies. We have the established, funded well-financed technology companies, the global brands, Google, Twitter, Honeywell, IBM, that, those are credit tenants. We don't need to worry about them if they sign a lease at 715 Peachtree or Prominence with GE Digital. Those are great tenants to have. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the startup technology companies. And Atlanta today has a very robust network of startup companies thanks to all the incubators that we have in the area, like the Advanced Technology Development Center at Georgia Tech, which is a public incubator, and then the emergence of lots of private incubators like Atlanta Tech Village in Buckhead, formed by David Cummings, Tech Square Labs in Midtown, and many, many more. What's happening is these incubators are providing a lot of mentoring, a lot of business plan assistance, coaching, taking startup companies on roadshows to Silicon Valley and Boston and New York for funding. Companies like Pindrop and Urginet are getting funded. They're securing $10 million investments, 20, 30. In the case of Alan DeBeery and David DeBeery with AirWatch, they secured a $220 million investment from Excel Partners in Silicon Valley. They sold the company to VMware for $1.5 billion, and the company continues to grow and flourish right in Sandy Springs, in Metro Atlanta.
That's incredible. And we're going to take a short break when we get back. I want to also ask you about headquarters, because we've had some big headquarters moves here. Are we going to have some more? What's it mean for Atlanta? Stay with us. This is Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show.
Raise the value of your commercial real estate project by telling your story to a national TV audience. CRE Groundbreakers, a new branded content series coming to TV this fall. Details at barnescreativestudios.com.
Welcome back to Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show. I am Michael Bull. We have Greg Simon here, Vice President, Economic Development with Metro Atlanta Chamber of Commerce. And Greg, one of the things that we've seen a lot of in Atlanta is headquarters moving here. We've had Mercedes is building right down the street. Who else is coming? Who else has come recently?
Sure. Well, as a transplant to Atlanta, which is not unique, there's so many people who have moved here from somewhere else, and I'm one of many people who have done that. A remarkable aspect of Atlanta is the number of businesses that have picked up their roots in the city where they were created and selected to move their headquarters to Atlanta. And so, to me, I think about, 2 decades ago, UPS leaving Connecticut and moving their headquarters very close to here. But more recently, Pulte Group, a Fortune 500 national home builder company founded in Detroit, picked up their headquarters and moved to Buckhead. You mentioned Mercedes-Benz USA, which is a fantastic project, a great win for Atlanta. We've been so fortunate to have this base of companies, many of them that were founded in Atlanta, and then we've been able to add so many other companies. And certainly NCR would be another example, a major corporation that moved to Gwinnett County to start, and now building their global headquarters in Midtown Atlanta.
Well, while you're on the radio, you want to announce anyone else that's coming over?
Don't have any announcements today, but stay tuned because we always have lots of companies evaluating Atlanta on any given day.
Okay. So what's the draw here to Atlanta? What are the top 10 things that are bringing them here?
Well, first of all, I think it's the labor pool. We have a population of roughly 5.7, 5.8 million people today, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. The projection is that that's going to increase to 8 million people by the year 2040, making Metro Atlanta the 3rd fastest growing metro area in the United States. Metro Atlanta added nearly 75,000 people last year alone. It's pretty remarkable. And so when businesses are evaluating locations to put their headquarters, the number one issue is to evaluate the labor pool and do we have the talent to staff what we need. So that's a big factor that we have. The higher education system, the colleges and universities that we have in Atlanta, not only Georgia Tech, Georgia State, Kennesaw State, Emory, Morehouse, Spelman, SCAD, the airport, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport is one of our biggest assets. It's the ability to quickly get anywhere you need to be on the planet from Atlanta. Because thank goodness Delta Airlines is headquartered in Atlanta. It's a hub for Atlanta, and that's a huge selling point and asset for us, especially when we're competing with cities like Raleigh or Nashville. where many companies have to connect through Atlanta anyway to get to
Right.
those cities. So we have so many great attributes to promote to headquarters looking at Atlanta.
And is the draw as well the cost of living? It seems like our cost of living is rising a little bit, but it seems like it's a lot cheaper than a lot of the major markets.
That's right. So Atlanta is the 9th largest metro area in the United States. We're in really great company. You think about global cities like New York and San Francisco, Boston, Washington, D.C. Atlanta's right up there with the best of them. And our cost of living is so much less than those cities. That's part of the secret sauce that we have in Atlanta. We offer all of the amenities of a major global city, great restaurants, great culture, and a low cost of living.
Yeah. So what else? What else if I'm talking to a company and I'm trying to get them to put their headquarters here? Is one of the things that our office space, really, if you need office space, is not that expensive. You know, our Class A space is the same rent per square foot as to store your junk in New York City.
That's right. It's pretty incredible. So not only the cost of living, the cost of residential real estate is lower here, but the cost of commercial real estate. And even though with the economy improving and price per square foot rates increasing in Metro Atlanta, as they are in all cities around the United States, Atlanta still offers a value that other major cities can't offer. And we see that, we've heard that from the companies that we've worked with. Ernst & Young moved their North American IT operations from New Jersey to Atlanta. We worked with Sage Software recently to move their North American headquarters from the West Coast to Atlantic Station. We have so many examples that we can point to, and certainly cost of commercial real estate is a benefit that we have in Atlanta.
Are the Braves, the Falcons, and the Hawks, and the new stadiums, does that help draw companies as well?
Sure. Well, a big part of what companies evaluate is the quality of life. And professional sports is one aspect of that. And to be able to say that we just opened a new baseball stadium, we're about to open a new football and soccer stadium, we're about to renovate our basketball arena, those are really great selling points. Certainly a selling point that Mercedes-Benz bought into when they relocated their headquarters here.
Literally.
Literally, with the naming rights for the stadium.
Right.
But beyond professional sports, it's the amenities that we have, the cultural amenities, the High Museum, the theaters, the Alliance Theater, the Fox Theater. It's the various museums that we have here. It's the attractions. And then it's what we offer outside. If people want to get away into the mountains or the lakes, Atlanta has it all.
Yeah, people like in South Florida that I know down there, they envy how close we are to the mountains. And then I'd say the really good people that live here. Well, stay with us, good people. We'll have more. This is Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you in part by your friends at Bull Realty. When your business requires proven performance, visit bullrealty.com or call 800-408-BULL. Welcome back, Atlanta. This is Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show. This segment is brought to you by Apto, your brokerage in the cloud. Visit apto.com. And we have a great segment for you. We have Greg Simon here, Vice President, Economic Development with the Metro Atlanta Chamber of Commerce. Greg, thanks for being with us in Studio One here today.
My pleasure.
So let's talk about the film industry. It seems like there's a lot of films, television shows being filmed here, a lot of development. What's the impact here?
It's really incredible. In 2006, a previous governor passed a 30% tax credit against the production of film, TV, or video games. And what we've seen since 2006 is, at first, productions came here for 4 months and would film a major motion picture and then go back to Hollywood and produce the footage and do the post-production. Then there was so much production happening in Atlanta, we started to see the sound stages, bricks and mortar come here. Projects like Mailing Avenue Stageworks in Grant Park, and Tyler Perry Studios, and Raleigh Studios in Sonoya, where Walking Dead is filmed, and now Pinewood Studios in Fayetteville, where all the Avengers movies, Captain America, just great productions. So we're seeing this bricks and mortar follow just the production that happened, and we're seeing people move to Atlanta to be part of that industry. We're seeing makeup specialists, we're seeing carpenters to build sets, we're seeing stage producers, we're seeing set designers, and that's having a major positive impact on our economy.
Is that trend going to continue? Is it going to grow?
It's
Looks like it's getting some momentum.
It is. It's getting a lot of momentum. As an economic developer, I visit cities all over the United States to promote Atlanta as a place to do business. One area that I visit is Los Angeles, and I've called on studios, major motion picture studios, and it's amazing the positive reception that we receive in Los Angeles. You know, as a salesperson, you know, it isn't always easy to get in front of potential customers,
right,
but we get a very good reception in Los Angeles from major studios that are very much aware of Atlanta and have a very favorable impression.
Yeah, they're probably, hey, there's that Greg guy from Atlanta. Go get him. Don't let him get away.
That's right. It's been great.
So what is the economic impact for the city of Atlanta?
It's in the billions of dollars.
Yeah.
The state of Georgia did an economic impact analysis of the film, TV, and video game production in the state, and it's literally in the billions of dollars of positive economic impact. I mean, you know, as you drive around Atlanta, not a day goes by when you don't see some type of production occurring here.
Yeah. Well, if someone in my audience has real estate, they have land or buildings, and they think they'd like to attract some of the film industry, what's a tip for them there?
Sure, a couple of tips. Georgia has a camera-ready program that local communities can opt into. So whether you're in Cherokee County or Fayette County or DeKalb County, each county typically has a development authority. And those development authorities feed properties into the state's film office so that when the film office is working with productions, whatever particular set that they're looking for, the local communities can guide the productions on sets that would be a good fit for those. So if you're a property owner and you feel like this is an industry that you want to be a part of, my advice would be to reach out to your local development authority in your county and promote your property to them.
Okay. You know, and you can tell that Atlanta was kind of hub for television and for video and everything else, because the Commercial Real Estate Show is actually filmed right here in Studio One.
There you go. It's a beautiful thing. I hope you're getting the tax credit for it.
I hope I am too. I'll have to ask my accountant about that. Well, what are some other tips to people related to the film industry? I mean, it seems like it's also can be some fun to be had around it.
Definitely a lot of fun, and like every industry that we work with, labor pool, available workforce, whether it's those set designers or the carpenters or all of these extras, people who support the industry. And so through the Technical College System of Georgia, the state has created a Georgia Film Academy to feed into the skills needs for the industry. And that's also a way just for citizens of Georgia to get involved. If they have an interest in film or TV production, that would be a great way to be a part of it.
So you could go be an extra probably almost any day now, right?
That's
There's
the way,
so much going
certainly
on.
the way it seems, yes.
Yeah. Somebody was telling me the other day that they were an extra, and you know, they met some of the stars and then just saw some of the stars and didn't get to meet some of them, but they were very excited about the process.
Yeah, you know, another great way to get information is the state's economic development website, georgia.org. If you visit that website, there's a section for film and TV production, and there's a whole film, TV production resource manual there that gives a lot of ideas as well.
And that's perfect. And if you want some more information from the Metro Chamber, it's metroatlantachamber.com. It's a long one, but it's a good one.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, Greg. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being on the show.
My pleasure.
And thank you for catching us on the radio stations, or maybe you're listening on iTunes or YouTube. We appreciate your comments. We like connecting with you, so please do so. And we love for you to share the show. And if you have some ideas about some great topics that you would like to hear about, please let us know. And until next week, see you then. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, Bull Realty, and to all of our sponsors linked below. For more Atlanta forecasts, advice, and opportunities, subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and AtlantaCommercialRealEstateShow.com. And be sure to connect, comment, and share on your favorite social media sites.